Hey everybody. I had a bit of time on my hands, so I was looking at this issue that a friend of mine brought up. She's done this head. She's got this kind of green face, devil horns, bloody eyes, all kinds of stuff going on there. And she's been facing some issues with the upload of this file. So I had tried it on the tester. There's a Dusty's tester, Ganny tester. It's basically an online resource where you can go and upload your file. I will add that in the comments or description of the video, so you can have a look. You can use it yourself. But this file wasn't getting recognized for some reason. So there's a couple of checks that I want to do. There's a couple of things that I want to just go over when we're looking to fix this up and see what the problem may be. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I have a secondary file here, which is my basic head template. I'm going to create a new layer in my head template. I'm going to call this devil head. I'm going to make it, make sure it has an alpha. It has an alpha, which is perfect because I'm going to want to do some edit on there. The next part is I'm going to basically take this entire thing, the entire file, and just flop it right into that devil head layer here. So immediately what comes to light is this head is far, far too long. Unfortunately, I had a feeling there might be some issues like that. And it also appears to be slightly too large. So if I look at these individual frames, I can see that for the most part, it's acceptable, right? You can probably fit most of these in. There are scenarios like this here where we have a couple of pixels outside. There are also scenarios where it's obviously far too large, like this one is quite large. I think it's 3 or 4 pixels too large. And the other thing is that the left and right here, this one's coming out on the edges as well. So this is going to be a considerable edit. Hopefully it's something helpful that you guys might want to be using in your time as well. So I'm going to remove that and just go back into this original file here, and I'm going to take this frame by frame, really quick and easy, or as fast and quick and easy as I can possibly make it, using my judgment. Okay, so I'm going to go right up to the top here. I'm going to paste this in, and I can see right away that so there's two main issues with this one. One is that the hair is a little bit long, and the other is that the sides of this image are too large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another file completely. You think I'm going to have to create a new one, or am I going to? No, you know what I'll do? I'll work in this one. And I'm going to pull these bottom pieces up. Oops. I want to actually cut that. The idea being that I would like to reduce the height of this, and I can do so just by 2 or 3. I think I'll probably crop some pixels here as well. Make it a little bit rounder because these little pointy ears at the top are really a mainstay of this image, and I don't want to lose those in the shuffle. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the side, the hair, and I'm going to make it, I'm just going to pull it in one. So I'm going to cut, paste, and pull it in one on both sides. That will solve the problem. We're still going to have quite a bulky head. It's going to be quite large, but the overall appearance of this is going to be pretty good. Oh, do I have hard edge on? I do. Perfect. So I'm reducing the curve on this one here to make it look a little bit longer, a little bit more like the original. I'm also going to clean up a couple of these little square pixels down here, like that. That one's okay. These ones have 2 and 2. That looks pretty good. So let's see if we can manage to fit this in now. Oh, there's actually one part right there that I don't like too much. Doing some hairstyling here. I think that's fine. Okay, I'm getting a little too single pixel perfect here. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one from this image and throw it in here and see what we got now. Okay, gotta zoom, scroll up. Oh, I'm as scrolled as I can get here, guys. Okay, and I still need to reduce the height a little bit more to get it to fit. Okay, so I will cut this and bring it up one. And I'm tempted to bring it up a second one, just because I know what's going to happen at the base of this image if we don't. So I will do so. What's going to happen basically is that if we wind up with too much hair, it's going to pretty much eliminate the visibility for accessories. But that's kind of a price to pay. I don't know. I mean, it's something that as you go along, you kind of make those choices. Sometimes that's what you want. Sometimes it's not. Okay, so that one looks pretty good. Let's then move on to the next frame here. So we have this really cool side view. I really like the highlights on this. Not so keen on this nose, this forehead and nose, but it is what it is, and I'm sure it will look really cool in game. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy this over, just have a look at the frame, see where we're at, and I think it's probably 4 pixels, 3-4 pixels too tall. And I would like to pull it back a little bit, but I think that it's going to be okay for the width on this one. In fact, I think I can work right in this graphic here. There's this banded layer here where there's a little bit of character going on. I don't want to lose that. So what I'm going to do is pull the pixels from this side. I'm going to pull these up over here. So I don't lose the character in those pixels. These here, these 2 bottom ones. Maybe give it one of these. One of these, one of those, couple of these, couple of those. Basically just shaping up the dark hair on here. I'm gonna kind of try and give it a little bit of texture. And then this one underneath here is kind of unavoidable. We're gonna have to cut most of it to get it to fit. And then I'm going to have to do this one here, give it a little rounding. And the other part of this, I'm going to also try and make the bottom layer, or the bottom row of pixels here, the same as the ones on that side. So that takes care of that frame. I'm going to copy this one out. And actually, you know what? I think I'm going to stick with this and see in the original if we just have a copy of that directly on the other side or not. If it is just a direct copy, which it appears to be, yeah, it's just a direct copy. So I will just copy that out in the next one here. I'll copy the same graphic here. Okay, so copy paste. I'm going to flip that. Bring it down and try and position it as close as I can to the same location in the other one, which is pretty straightforward because we do have a template involved. Okay, so now is the most important, which is the downward facing frame. I'm going to slowly eliminate these from this file so I know which ones I have to deal with one by one here. This one's probably going to be the hardest to crop. Just to get it right, because we've got the depth, or the height rather, as well as the width is going to be an issue. So the width is too large, but we're going to pull it 4 in, and the height on this one is 1, 2, 3 pixels. So we'll have to cut the hair. Give her a little haircut. Okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I don't wanna lose the texture in the hair because the hair looks pretty cool, but I do need to bring the shape of this back up. So I'm going to pull it up 1, 2 from this one here. I'm gonna get rid of that single stray pixel, and then I need to go up 1 further. So I'm gonna take this whole thing up 1 further. and basically just eliminate this. And I mean, it's a shame that we have to cut in such a way where it's going to eliminate some of that character in the graphic, but it really is necessary to be able to make it fit. I also have this nice dark outline, which I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know if the resolution is good enough, so let's zoom in here. There's actually a darker outline going around the edge, and I'm hesitant to check if that's going to be pure black. I don't think it is pure black. I think that Bianca probably knows. Given the degree of skill in the graphic here, I think she probably has a pretty good idea about the color, but I will do a check at the end to confirm if we have black pixels. Rather than going through and one by one dealing with that issue as it comes up, like every single time there's a black pixel, I would rather just take it all at the end and resolve it then. Okay, so looking pretty good on that side. I think I'm going to pull a little bit of a shortcut here and delete all this because it is just a mirror image. I'm going to just copy paste, give it a flip, and then move it on over here. And we have 2, 1, 1, and here it is again, 2, 1, 1. That looks perfect. Okay, so now the next part was that I have to pull in the hair. I'm going to pull it in 4 pixels total, 2 on either side. That means I actually have to start up here. So 2 in, oh, and that's going to impact the horns, unfortunately. So, different solution. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down the outside layer. I'm going to make it a little bit smoother on the side here. I'm going to bring this one down 1, this one down 1, this one down 2. And pull these guys in 1 further. And unfortunately that doesn't look like it's going to work out for me. I think the rough, quick and dirty solution is to move these horns in 1 pixel. In addition to the rest of this, I'm just going to go in 1 pixel further. So I'm going to cut and paste this time and pull it in 1 pixel. I'm going to have to edit the hair a little bit at the bottom here, but I think that that's the best solution for it. To get the hair back to where it should be. I'm also going to try and do justice to the black border there. At least keep it intact to a degree. And unfortunately we have to do the same treatment to the other side as well. Okay, so it is a little bit closer of a haircut. It unfortunately doesn't quite match the original, but we do need to have that file basically the same size and shape, otherwise it won't work out. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the hair here. Basically just copy from where I can and then line that up. Actually, this is probably going to be the best way to go about that, right there. Copy, paste, and then the old flip. And I can see my line actually exactly where I wanted it to be from the other side. So I noticed that I have a couple of frames here that pixels here that I'm going to eliminate. I'm going to do the same here. Give it a nice rounded edge. And I'm actually going to color that portion in there as well. I noticed that I've got a couple of pixels of dark that need to go in here. It's actually really hard to see from my side. I'm pretty colorblind, so I'm going to actually zoom in and make sure I didn't miss any edges on that border. Just down here. And I would actually pull this dark color down into these ones as well. probably all the way along here, just because it comes, it's the shadow is going to get pulled out from the side of the face into the hair. It shows that the hair is behind. And these ones are going to go down. Okay. I'm going to come over here on this side, make sure it's good to go all the way around. Copy that color and bring it over. Looking good. Okay, cool. Hop up to the top here. And I think we're good to transplant this one now. So unfortunately, it's a little bit different of a haircut, but that's really the only way that we're going to fit this into the frame. And we're just perfect. Okay, I'm matching the horns to the top layer pixels. I'm doing the same thing throughout here, is that the horns should come up to the top and meet at the top. From the sides, we've got a little bit of leeway where it's come all the way to the bottom, but otherwise they're matching, that they're coming just one pixel away from the bottom of the frame so far. Okay, so moving on to the next two from there. So I've toasted this one and the next one. And this next one is it pull frame? I think that's the pull frame or the push frame, one or the other. Oh, and I see what's going on here. We actually have a different frame. So let's see. That's going to be the pull frame. So I have to flip that upside down. And I will also have to edit it pretty severely, I think, because it's going to be the same issue, that it's too wide. We can get away with making that one longer though. This particular frame you can go quite long, but we're still going to have to edit the hair quite a bit. Yeah, I'm going to take that in the other graphic here. Okay, so I don't want to go too far with this one. I do need to edit it a little bit, but it can have a little bit more leeway. You know what? Let's go for the 2 just to keep it the same as the downward facing. And with the longer hair, we can kind of get away with that too. So we'll do our best to match up where the eyes are when we're transplanting this across, but otherwise I think that we're good. We can keep that long hair appearance. The other thing I need to do is pull in that dark color along here. I'm gonna get rid of some of these jagged edges here too. These are just gonna be jagged. They're not actually gonna add to the image. I like that though. That one's actually okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side essentially. Just crop based on the ear. I'm using the ear as a reference point. I think all the changes that I made, except for one little pixel right here, which I will pop out. I think everything else was based on the ear. So I'll pull that over, see how it looks. Doing all right. Gonna patch up my black down here, and I think that's good to go. Okay, so now the tricky part with this one is that I have to flip it. I'm going to flip it vertically, and then I'm trying to match where these eyes are sitting with where these eyes are sitting, and seeing if I can get that properly laid there. So I'm going to flip my visibility on my devil head right now those are showing a little bit too far down the image. I will copy paste. I'm going to bring it up 2, see what that looks like. I think that the chin is actually perfectly aligned. Yep, those are looking pretty good. The eyes are a little further apart in this graphic. He's got these great big bushy eyebrows, but the eyes themselves are actually covered in blood here. Okay. Oh, no, I don't need to save that yet. I will save it later. Okay, so I'm going on to the next frame here. I think what's about to happen is we're just going to have the redo of the same thing. Yeah, it looks like the same. This one here is going to be different. So when we're dealing with the other frames, we're going to have these are the damage ones down here. I'm not sure what the intention is for the damage frames, but we'll have a look. See if she's got actual damage frames sorted here. No, she doesn't. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of improvise. We'll work with what we got here. I see that there's a little tongue sticking out, which I like. I think that's kind of clever for, you know, a devil to have a little tongue action when they got damage, when they're taking damage. So we'll go for that. And I will add maybe a little bit of a graphic update on the side-facing views for that. But what I notice here is that we have a longer hair here on this one and a shorter hair on this one. I'm going to just use the existing graphics basically. I'm going to go in here and for my pull frames, the right and left pull, we're just going to use the existing ones here, but I'm going to flip them. So that should ideally work because we're going to have the same kind of hair. Come down a little ways to here, paste it in. I'm going to flip it this way, and then I'm going to rotate that. I'm going to rotate it exactly 90 degrees and see where it goes, if that works out. Yeah, I think it's just perfect in that frame. I'm going to keep it down. I'm going to keep it down a little ways here. And I think that's going to be good. So I will copy paste, flip that again, and we're going to take it down to the next frame below here, which is this one. I'll do the same thing, keep it 1 down from the top, and I think that's good to go. Okay, so I've noticed also that this is quite flat here. Specifically in these frames, this hair is very vertical, so actually what I'm going to do is jazz that up a little bit. I notice that there is some contouring going on with the hair itself, so I'm going to eliminate the majority of that and pull in that darker color where it's applicable. So this is actually an interesting thing here. So you see how we've got the top row of this image has dark, and like there's this darker color hair and then the lighter color hair where there's the highlights on the hair. I'm going to pull in the dark color for the dark ones to show the outline, and then what I'm going to do is actually pull in the less dark one. These are totally dark over here. But I'm going to pull in the kind of intermediary, like the third color, like the middle color here, to put it on these highlights here on the top of this. So what that'll do is it'll allow that hair to be still dark, but then the highlight comes through in a different way because it's an outline. Okay, looking pretty good to me. And what I will do here for this is actually to, again, go back to the other image at the top here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull those last 2 pixels out of there too. 2-3 pixels. And I mean, this is really what I want to do, is just to eliminate it down to a single pixel depth. But to do that, I think I have to pull these guys in here as well. Not bad. Oh, I keep trying to save it. It's just a habit. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm happy with that right now. That's a couple of pixels different. So I will delete this one up here and pull it up. Flip it around, move it on up. Keep it in the same location and the depth of the frame there. Cool, okay. So now we have to figure out our damage frames and our push frames. Our push frames can be essentially the same. Our pull frame can be the same as this pull frame too, but we're going to have to pull the hair out. That's going to be the only challenge here. So I'm going to flip that up, bring it on down. Oh, is that going to work out? Can I fit it in that space? I can just. Okay. And I'm just going to erase. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so it's going to want to look the same on both sides. Pretty much the same. Pull that darkness down here. Same thing on this side as far as we can. And then I have to cut one more frame out of this, or sorry, one more pixel depth. So I will cut and paste. And now I have to go up here. I actually have to draw an irregular shape catch-all here to pull around the different shape, because there's these pixels in the middle here that weren't actually connected to the lower image. So what I'm doing is holding down Shift and selecting more pixels. I can select more by holding Shift. I can select less by holding Control. And I will select all the relevant pixels that I need to make sure that my selection is got the whole graphic, but none of the upstairs ones there. There's some that are hanging out up in the upper frame, and I'll pull that down one. Okay, so looking pretty good. I think what I'll do to thin this hair out a little bit, cut those ones out. There's just a couple pixels there. I just keep trying to save. Muscle memory. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is pull up 2 on both sides here. It gives it more of a gradual pull down, like the hair fall is a little bit more natural that way. Okay, so that is pull up. This is pull down. And I'm tempted to just go like this. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take that blood color eye. Going to go in here and give it one of these. And then this is actually something that I was thinking about as well, which is that this color here needs a darker shade as well. So I'm going to pull it down a little bit. It is fully saturated, so I'm going to pull the saturation down as well. And I'm going to add a little bit of character on this. So it's got some texture. Okay. Do the same thing down here. I mean, it looks really good. Otherwise, all the green skin is really well highlighted and stuff. I think that a little bit of color on this, also matching those highlights, is going to give it a little bit of oomph. Okay, I'll do the same thing up on this one. And give these little corners a little bit of something. A little bit of something, something. And then up here too. And give it. And this one I'm going to call dark. And same with this one down here. This one has a little bit of highlight on it, so it's bright. And I don't think there's any more frames with that going on. Gonna copy this part right here and pull it into the lower frame. Flip it over. D. Right there. Giving these little insets some. And I feel like this should be darker at the top as well, because we're going to have that inset underneath the eyebrow there. There we go. Cool. So now we have, when you pull, your eyes come out. Angry pull with the eyes. Okay, cool. Good stuff. To the next frame. So for damage frames, what we decided is we're going to have the tongue sticking out. So we'll do that up too. I'm going to pull this, basically the same object for the upward facing as the damage upward facing. And it's probably a bad practice, but you get away with it sometimes. This is one of those cases where, you know, one frame isn't going to make a huge difference in the graphic overall. Okay, so we do have a tongue sticking out for this one here. Let's go grab that from in here. And that's this one. So I'm just going to assume that the hair is too big and that the bottom needs to be brought up 4, let's say. And the sides need to be brought in 2 on each side. I'm just going to make that assumption right off the bat. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to take this whole thing, copy paste, bring it in 1 and 2. Oh wait, maybe it doesn't. That side hair doesn't look like it's as deep as the pre-existing ones. Let's check. It doesn't have the extra. There's not 1 extra band. I think I might only need to bring that in 1 on each side. Nope. Looks are deceiving. Yeah, the same treatment. 4 on the sides and 3 in the bottom, or 4 in the bottom as well. Cool. Okay. So I'm trying to eliminate some of the straight lines here by softening the edges. Going up a little bit here. I have these extra 2 pixels here, so I'm going to cut that up. Bring that in here. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to bring these in at the bottom, and then I'm going to pull this one up. I'm going to pull some of the dark color from the top here and go over my edges. And I think that's good for the one side. So I'm going to cut out all of the hair on this side. Do the same thing again. I'm holding shift to multi-select different sections. And I think, oh, actually I'm going to have to do the top bit up here too. Pull these out here, and I will do the same thing, except for I'm going to select it all and paste it in now on the other side as well. I think that's good, but I'm just going to go for it here. Flip it over, copy, paste, flip. How far along were we there? I think that's the spot right there. So I must have gotten some of the ear on the other side when I was doing the edit before. I'm also going to eliminate this one dark pixel in here. It doesn't add anything to it. Flip this over, draw it on the other side, see if that's good. Right there. Please just punch. There we go. Okay, so there's our tongue sticking out down here. I'm going to do one thing to this. I can see that this one pixel here is going to be square. So if I zoom out, I'm going to go to 100% and then 200. If I look at that tongue, that's not bad. But I think that this one here, this pixel actually is not the issue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten the lower part here. If I can find that same image. No, I went way too far down. There we go. So what I'm actually going to do is lighten this right here, this one square right here. And I'm tempted to do this and darken this one and keep those as too bright. The reason being that will look a lot rounder at a high level. Because the shadow, if we look at this line here, this dark part, that's going to cast a shadow because it's the upper lip, right? When we have the lip going over top of the tongue, what I had done here is actually to make a shadow in those 2 pixels. So that will add to it. I could probably even get away with this one, but it might look a little funky. It actually looks even more. Yeah, it looks even better that way, I think, but I will leave it like this and let somebody else be the judge later on if they want to add that 1 pixel. So yeah, that looks a lot rounder. It looks like a little tongue sticking out. It also has it feeds into the shadow of the lip, the upper lip, a little bit better there. I'm also tempted to add another pixel of dark color on this side, just because it would add to the distance there, but I think that that's as good as we're going to get for now, so we'll leave it. There is such a thing as going too far. Okay, so I'm going to pull that in, paste it in here. Looking pretty good. Oh, and our other thing here that that I've broken away from, unfortunately, is that now that's just a smidge too long for the same thing. But we have this pull frame up here that has already broken that rule. So this has already broken the rule. It's already touching the bottom of the frame, so we're going to just go for it. We'll leave that little bit of pointy hair at the bottom there. And hopefully it'll do good. Okay. So I want to do the tongue on one side for this one. I'm going to source the same colors basically and just superimpose the same graphic more or less. We probably want to shift it a little bit, but I'm going to copy that and bring it up here and see what it looks like. Looks a little bit like a grin with a little tongue sticking out. I don't know. Let's try it the other way and see what it does. No, that's not right. This one is not bad. I think that the angle is going to be a little bit off if we do it that way. Yeah, I want to actually pull the tongue into the front. So, to do that, I'm going to have to pull this color underneath. This color is going to be here. This one's going to be underneath as well. And then I'm going to take the green, the light green color, and we're going to be looking at where this comes out. Keep this one dark. Keep these underneath dark as well. I have one black pixel that's going to come out a little bit further on this. And I think that's about as good as we're going to get. I could probably pull this back 1 in. But because we're dealing with a damaged frame, this is going to be shot really quickly here. I think what I will do that. I'll pull that 1 in. And that way I can actually get away with that one black pixel being in the right spot as well. The other thing I'm going to do is pull the color from this part of the face into here, because it should be that this is light. It's the top of the lip. It's visible to the light, like it would show from the light up top. I'm also going to pull that pixel to light. See how that looks. Nope, it made it too square. And this one right here is going to be a lighter green, and this one also is going to be a lighter green. And see how that looks now. I still don't like this one, so I'm actually going to do the same thing right there. And maybe I'm going to pull that back to dark. Now I'm getting fiddly. You know, it's a bad sign. Pull that back to dark, and now it's going to add to the image. Yeah, perfect. I like that. I'm good with that one. We're going to keep that. Okay, so I'm going to basically just I'm going to transplant this little smile and section here. I'm going to use the these 2 pixels here as my reference. Sure, that's good right there. I'll copy that in, and I'm going to bring that into the other original image here. Oh, right, and we don't have that. Oh, okay, cool. So I'll just take the whole thing. Sounds good. This whole thing will come over then. And I don't know if it's going to fit or not. We'll have to see. 1, 2. Yeah, looks perfect. Oh, except it's 1 pixel too tall. Okay. So to resolve that, I'm just going to hack one of these off the bottom. Bring it up 1 from there. And throw it in here like this, and there we go. Should fit perfectly. There we go. I'm going to take the same image on the other side as well. Oh, I have an expand from center all of a sudden. Copy paste, give it a flip. And then I'm going to go for M for move and bring it all the way down here. Perfect. Okay, and now we have, oh, those weren't the damage frames? Is that the push frame or the pull frame? Oh my goodness, what's gone on here? Uh-oh. Yeah, those are push frames. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So for our push frames, we have the tongue sticking out. Interesting. I'm going to take those down and make them into the damage frames. Because I like the idea of it being a sassy image. Like, haha, you think you can damage me, mortal? Right about there. See if they fit, just make sure. Okay, and then, oh yeah, look at that. This one I'm also going to edit a little bit. Give it a little bit of oomph. I will do the same thing over here, but with the sideways version. Looks pretty good. Okay, and now we have these push frames. Maybe the push frame should be the same as these ones up here. I think that that's probably the way to go. The push and the pull will be like this. And this is all just guessing now. I'm just kind of here and there. Oops. So these guys are actually vertical. Okay. So copy paste, bring it down, rotate. Oh, yeah, rotate is, for some reason, rotate is set in the actual window. It's not its own dialog box. I don't know why. Oh, and this one needs to get flipped, so I'll keep this down here. Looks about perfect. Oh, but these are push frames, so I'm going to keep it over a little bit further on one side. Is it one off the bottom and the lower one there? Yeah, one off the bottom. Perfect. And then I can just slap that same, this same one here. This same frame can go in. And I mean, if I really wanted to, I could probably shrink this down a little bit. Something like this. So the trick is to make it look like the ears are going to pull down in the front. So to do that, we want to make them shorter. We're going to use the black or the darker green outline on there. Keep them like that. And I'm also going to change the color on just that one pixel there and pull in the hair a little bit. And this whole scar thing is going to come up. So I'm going to copy paste and bring it up 1, copy paste, bring it up 2. And why not, I'll change the way the hair looks at the bottom here too. Give it a little bit of character. Cool, okay. And what that'll do is it'll allow the, like when the player looks up and does that motion, it will make that whole thing look like it goes up. Like the front of the face will go down and the rest of that image will look like it's going up properly according to that. Okay, now this one here. Same. And one more thing I have to edit, which is these gouged out little eyes here. Basically, I'm going to want to make the blood the right way on that. So, going to go for minimal editing on this. Pull that darker color up from the top there. And I'm going to pull the base color down the side of the cheek. Give it a little rounding, and then I'm going to look at where my shadows are going to be on that, and call that a shadow as well. And then I'm going to copy that and bring it down to the other one after I have done my changes on this one too. Actually, you know what? Let's just copy the whole thing, the whole eye, and go based on the entire eye. Top of the eye is going to be my reference. And I have one little pixel to fix on this side now only. I'm going to take that darker color and add it in there. I tried to save again. Okay. Cool, so we're looking pretty good. It's kind of going throughout that we got the push-pull as the bleeding eyes, we got damage as like sassy, and now we have to do a dead face. So I think dead face with the eyes bleeding is probably the best way to go based on the graphic here. I'm going to rotate that one more time, do it 90 degrees. It's going to face down, confirm that, and then we'll move it and take it all the way down to the bottom here. I'd like to bring it all the way down to the corner. That way it looks like it's actually lying down on the ground when you see the actual the death animation. And I'm going to change this again as well. And that doesn't look right. Let's make it come down the side of the nose. And we'll give a couple little highlights in there. Great, okay, cool. So there's my edit on that. I'm going to export this as a PNG. I'll test it in the editor, and then I will send it back. Hopefully for a successful upload. Cool, all right. Thanks, guys. Hope you learned from that. Use a template if you got one. It helps you save a lot of time, in this case about an hour that we took to kind of, I mean, maybe a half an hour if we were just copy pasting, but there was a little bit of extra work to do. So yeah, use a template, understand what you're actually working for. Basically, your frames are super important. The size of the frames are important. And if you work outside of that, you might get into that situation where it's telling you that your file size or your objects are too large. And then in this case, also like the original file that we were working with, the actual frames themselves were not correct. Like we had left, right, up, down, all that kind of stuff going on, but it wasn't something where the pull, push, or the death frame. Oh look, there's a death frame. Let's just use that. Oh, but I like mine more. I'm gonna pull my eye. I'm gonna use my eye on that and use that with the other one. The death frame is always the one that's like, oh god, just let it end. Okay, right there. Actually, that looks pretty cool. Let's see if that'll fit right as it is. I don't know if it will or not. I don't think so. But we'll see. Yeah, no, it's too big. A little bit too big. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll copy some of these colors down here. And bring it out underneath. I'll give a 2 there, and a 1 there, and a bada bing, bada boom. Got a mess. One little speck over there. Nah, leave it like that. Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's it. Got the death frame in there. You got the little tongue sticking out. We got the bleeding eyes and the sassy smile. Looking pretty good to me. Had to do a little bit of haircut to get it in the frames a little correctly there. But there it is. All right. Thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time.